Hi and welcome to another edition of In the Mood to Scrap. I'm Wilna. For this mood board, there was absolutely no rhyme or reason for the images I chose. I think I started out with quotes and then I went to butterflies and then to gold splatters and to ombre letters. And that is the best explanation I can provide for the bunch of images I put together on Pinterest. And I think that the page that I created resembles it in a way. Maybe not in a global way, but definitely element by element. So I'll take you through my process, and there's some interesting techniques that I did on this page that I would love to show you. Just starting off with the product, and initially I thought maybe I'll use some rub-ons and chipboard that I didn't use in the end. You can see those beautiful letters by Heidi Swap, and I'm keeping those rub-ons. I will use them on a page soon. Beautiful chipboard by My Mind's Eye, and I only use the chevrons at the bottom. And another page of beautiful chipboard, also by My Mind's Eye. I just love using chipboard. I love to cluster the little pieces together. And again, for this page, I'm using aqua. So really, I'm just having a love affair with the color at this moment. And as you can see, I'm going to use gel medium, a whole bunch of silhouette cutouts, butterflies. And then I'm going to use that piece of paper from last month's In the Mood to Scrap video that I spilled a whole bottle of ink on. I'm going to use the piece that I cut off. And here's the cuts that I used, and I'll have all the names of the cut files in the information part of the video on 2-piece. So, starting off as usual for me with a white piece of cardstock, and I'm using the Maggie Holmes paper. Again, it's just the love affair thing. I love that paper. I bought a whole bunch of them, and I want to add the butterflies almost to cover up the line between the two papers. So I cut the papers smaller so they fit on the 12 by 12 inch white piece of paper. And now I'm going to use some gel medium and just add the butterflies to the paper. Right, I'm doing this the lazy way. So basically what I'm doing is I'm brushing some gel medium on my papers, and then I'm just adding the butterflies on top of it, and then I'm gonna paint a little gel medium on top of the butterflies as well. I'm not very picky where I'm putting the butterflies, as long as they look cluttered and stacked together. That's the idea that I was thinking. So all different shapes and sizes, I'm varying them, and I'm just brushing it and sticking them down, as you can see here. I'm trying also to work as thinly as possible, so I'm not putting down masses of gel medium. You can see I'm wetting my brush here and there, but I'm not working in impasto, which means thick layers of medium. It's just thin. I'm also covering the line between the two papers with butterflies, as I've said, so that there's a smooth transition almost from one page into the other. Oh, a little serendipities that happen sometimes when you scrapbook is you can see the Maggie Holmes paper with the text on it have these beautiful ink splatters in the exact same color as the mess I made on the Owl Studio paper. So, and I think maybe that's why I chose the text paper. Also, the lines are horizontal on the Owl's paper, and the text is horizontal on Maggie's paper. So in a way, your eye carries through with the horizontal lines, and then breaking it up with the rule of thirds and this vertical strip of tone on tone butterflies. I'm also going to show you a technique to emboss on those Heidi Swap plastic letters, and they emboss incredibly well. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So let that dry. The paper will wrinkle a bit, but it's not a big deal. You can just straighten it out when you adhere it to the back of it, the background paper. So that will work out fine. I've learned long ago not to stress about a little buckle in the paper. I'm opening a pack of pink paisley embellishments with beautiful butterflies that I thought might go well with the page. And you can have a look through there as I'm opening it and just see how pretty it is and all the beautiful things you get in that one pack of embellishments. And once I'm done, I'm just going to put it back into the package, just for my own reference, because sometimes when I design and someone asks me what flower did you use, then I at least know where to find it. So that's the only reason why I put it back. So next up, I'm going to show you how we are going to emboss on these beautiful Heidi Swap plastic letters. The word I'm using is Tiakie, and it's just a little nickname that we have for our eldest girl. Her name is Tia, and so it's scrambled the letters, and the K-I-E at the end is a form of endearment in Afrikaans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Versamark pad, and I'm going to, you can see the pliers I'm using. They actually come from Making Memories when they had jewelry. That's the Making Memories jewelry pliers. I'm just going to dab it into or onto the pad so that the sticky side is on top, and I'm going to do that with all the letters. And then I'm going to sprinkle embossing powder. Now, if I had my pick, I would have done it in an ombre way, but I didn't have enough colors, so I decided on gold and teal or aqua. So you can see I'm going to sprinkle at the bottom half one color, and then the top half the gold. And now I'm going to use the other three letters, and you can see I also worked in thirds, so the gold is 2/3 and the teal is 1/3 at the top letters, and I'm just going to reverse it on the bottom three letters. So I'm just speeding up the video, as you can see, because it's really just so basic. And sprinkle. I'm just overlapping some of the embossing powder, closing it, and now I'm going to heat it up. I'm using pliers and one letter at a time, and with my embossing tool I'm going to heat the embossing powder. The thing with the plastic letters is it almost melts, so it goes so limp, but once the embossing dry and the plastic cools, it's perfect again, and you can see how beautiful the letters emboss. So I was very happy when I saw how easy it is to emboss on a piece of plastic. Okay, now I'm really speeding up the video because I'm just doing basically the same thing over and over, and you can see how I moved my pliers just to get that piece of embossing powder where the pliers was, and it melts just over it, so it's perfect. You can also see there how the plastic almost melts, so just be careful. It happened to me that one of the letters flipped over. I think it was the A, one of them, and yeah, I just had to emboss it again or powder it up again. But there you can see how easily it melts and how pretty it looks. And I think if you have the correct colors, you can easily create an ombre effect with the embossing powder. So there you can see my title. Now it almost disappears on the teal ink that's spilled, but I just decided to go with it and just to work around it. The chalkboard letters is from Pebbles, and chalkboard is so popular right now, and on my new art class that I'm working on, art class 2, that's coming out in the fall, I'm dedicating a whole chapter just on chalkboard paint and working with chalkboard, and it's going to be so beautiful. So I'm just placing my embellishments and see what works where. Also, I wanted to add more gold, so I just removed my photos and I used Studio Calico's gold Mr. Yui and my big brush, round brush, and you can see how pretty the splatters is that the round brush makes. And once that paint dry, it is the most beautiful gold color. It's not just a yellowish color, it's literally gold. So it's beautiful. It's different than the embossing powder, but I didn't mind. It's more yellow, but I still love it. So I did use my embossing tool to dry the ink splatters, and I love doing that because it dries the ink splatters with the water still intact, so you get that beautiful rich drop, and the process goes quick because, as I've stated numerous times, I'm inherently very impatient and lazy. So I sometimes wonder if I should say stuff like this on a video. My husband always tells me to engage brain before accelerate with tongue. But the good thing about a video is you can edit stuff out. So in a way, you don't want to know what else I always edit out, because you find yourself talking so much nonsense. Anyway, moving on. So once the drops are dry, I will just start adhering all the different elements of the page. And I adhere my photos with double-sided tape that is acid-free. And the rest of the elements, I think I will use probably a little bit of hot glue here and there and add the journaling. And I'm also going to stitch in the final page on 2 Piece in a Bucket in the photos. You can see how I stitched around the edges. And the reason was the paint blob wasn't very sticky, so that one vertical photo of Tia kept falling off. So I decided just to run it through my machine just to get it permanently adhered. Because the page buckled a bit, you can see how I used double-sided tape on the back about 1 inch apart, and I'm using a lot of strips, 5, 6, probably 7 or 8 strips, and that way you can really flatten out a buckle on a page, on a background, if you adhere it to a background page. And the paper I chose for my background is also from Dear Lizzie, and why I love it is because it picks up a little bit of the gold, so it just shows a little bit of the gold. I'm just cutting that off, and there you can see I used hot glue to add the letters to my page. Tiakie. Okay, so thank you for watching In the Mood to Scrap, and I will see you soon next month with a new video, and I'm looking forward to it. So this is Wilna, and I hope you have a wonderful summer. Bye.